Hello, folks. This is Sula speaking. You're listening to another game for Teamfight Tactics. We are looking at another Pengu's Party game. This is the kind of for fun game mode that was introduced at the end of set 11. Hey, thanks, game, for popping up with the little Pengu's Party notification there. In this game, we're going to be looking at one of the traits that came back, a trait that I enjoyed from a past set, and that is the trainer trait, the one that gives you access to Nomsys. This is Nomsy's big return here that we're going to be seeing in this game. Turns out that this is actually one of the strongest options that you can play in Pengu's Party. The traits that they brought back are actually not very well balanced at all. Some of them are much, much stronger than other ones. But in this game, we're going to see a case of how Nomsy can get really strong as the game goes on. All right, so we had a couple different options there. One of them was the Tactician's Crown. I was kind of hoping we wouldn't get that. I actually went over to the Spatula portal because I was thinking there were actually a couple things I wanted to try to play that built out of a spatula. But none of those end up getting picked. Instead, we get the Gold Opener, which is the one I would normally pick because it's the one that's least impactful, has the least effect on the game. It means everybody, I think it's 7 additional gold at the start of the game. And of course, we have these little cupcakes here because it's Pengu's Party mode, and all the monsters are replaced by cupcakes, and it is a heavy loot mode. It's essentially like playing Scuttle Crab. You just get lots and lots and lots of loot. If you haven't seen this game mode before, you also get access to a gold item remover. But anyway, you get the chance to play traits from previous sets. I did a previous video on this, and I'm going to go ahead and take Mascot, which means that your team has innate health regeneration. Out of the various options there, none of those 3 options I had were actually particularly good in terms of the data. Mascot was the best performing, and I also just took Mascot because it's a pretty generic one of these choices. It's pretty flexible, can be played in a whole bunch of different directions because I didn't really know where my team was going to be going at this point in time. What were the other options I had? I think I had Yordles as one of them, which was really strong right up until the patch was released that this game was played on, and Yordles got nerfed pretty heavily, and it is now by far the worst performing in the data. It was overpowered before, but now it is the worst performing, and by a wide margin, so do not take Yordles if you're trying to win. Only take them if you're just kind of screwing around here. So I'm just waiting. I'm trying to get some direction for the board that I'm going to be playing, and I haven't really gotten it just yet. I suppose you could say I am actually pretty well set up, excuse me, to play Fated plus Dryad. But I've just played that quite a bit in the other Pengu Party games, so I didn't want to play that again. I think the previous video I posted before this was a game with that. But yeah, I've kind of got the pieces here, right? I've got 2 Rek'Sais, a Kindred has popped up here. I actually had 2 out of 3 Kha'Zix popping up, so I could play Reaper trait, but I was like, no, I don't want to play that again. I've had the opportunity to play that in a bunch of games, and I'm going to try to play something different here. So I'm going to try to head in a different direction. I do have the Zyra, and that's kind of interesting. I also have the Teemo, so there's the possibility to play something there. And then I get a Janna, so I have some different options here. The Umbral Crest is also kind of interesting. Umbral is relatively weak as it starts out strong, and it becomes kind of weak as the game goes on. The Umbral Crest is actually pretty good because it gives you the chance to play 6 Umbral without having to find the who's the 5 cost Umbral unit. I believe it's Set. Also, Haunted House, not necessarily a bad option either. But I'm looking down here, I was like, all right, I think I'm still trying to be flexible here. I'll go ahead and take Know Your Enemy because I also did a reroll game with Senna, and I didn't want to play the Ghostly board. So I still wasn't entirely sure what I was going to play here, but I'm trying to do some kind of a board that's based on rerolling for some of these champs. And I'm still trying to figure out what unit it's going to be. I'd actually kind of like it to be like a reroll team comp based around playing Lux. Lux and the Zyra, I kind of would like to play around them. Maybe Lux, Zyra, Janna. There is some synergy between some of these units, even though it might not necessarily seem that way. I also could have looked maybe to play around the Teemo, but anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and make some items here. Make a Spear of Shojin because that's going to go on somebody. Remember, I have the gold item remover, so I can flip items around however I want. So it's not hard to, it's not difficult to make use of the items. And Spear of Shojin's pretty flexible. Almost any caster can use that. Like I said, if I'm going to play someone like Teemo, it would be better to make blue buff, but Spear of Shojin's still playable. It's just the blue is better, but the Spear of Shojin's still very playable. And so this gives me, again, like I said, a little bit more flexibility. There's yet another Kindred, by the way. So some more options there as well. So I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. And I was like, well, maybe I could play the Sivir with Teemo. I mean, I suppose that's an option that would put Trick Shot trait in play. But I'm not sure that that's quite right for the setup that I have here. There actually is a team comp that you can play right now that I'm going to go ahead and make Ionic Spark because I know I'm going to play some kind of magic damage composition. As soon as I make the Spear of Shojin, I'm kind of committing myself to playing something that's magic damage based. So as soon as I make that item, I might as well make the Ionic Spark too. There's actually is a team composition that's based around playing Teemo together with Lux and then Amumu and Alawi, and then you also play Sivir to get Trickshot trait in. So I could have potentially gone in that direction in this game, but ultimately I decided I'd sell the Teemo because I was going to try to get up to 20 gold here. And unfortunately, I am able to get up to 20 gold. Somehow this absolute garbage board has won the first 2 rounds. I really don't understand that. This is a pretty terrible board that I'm playing right here. But I guess some other people have even less stuff. Like this person I just hit this round is only level 3 and has not made a single item yet, which is completely ridiculous. They had like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 items on their bench. They also have they also took Glacial trait, but they haven't put their Glacial... the little hammer, the frozen mallet, they haven't put that on anyone, which again is really silly when you have the golden item remover because you can pop the items off at any point in time that you want. So when you have an item like the frozen mallet, which is not an item that like makes into anything else, it's just a finished item on its own, just slap it on somebody so you can start getting the benefit. I mean, this person over here at least has gone ahead and put the frozen mallet on somebody over there. Unfortunately for me, they've already taken Porcelain Crest, and that's a bit unfortunate because that's kind of the direction I'm hoping to go in this game. As I said, there was this build that's based around playing Lux and rerolling for Lux, and I kind of wanted to try it out. The downside is I haven't seen even one Lux in this game so far yet. Zyra's doing her best to kind of fill in here as the damage load, but up against 2-star frontliners with the faded regen, this person has a faded crest, and they obviously have the faded health regen bonus. They actually have double health regen because they're getting the regen from the faded crest and from redemption. Yeah, my low damage team cannot get through that at all, so we kill no units whatsoever. Not great, not exactly what I was looking for. Now, this is another one of our encounters. Can't wait until this set's over and we don't deal with encounters anymore. But anyway, Volibear fills the carousel with 3-cost champion. So I'm looking at the different options here. I'm third pick on this carousel. Out of the various champions here, the one that I most want is actually the Diana because she's a unit that gets played on this board. Basically, the board I'm trying to play is a board that's based on a combination of Sage trait and Arcanist trait, and plays a little bit into Dragon Lord as well, but it's mostly Sage plus Arcanist and kind of relies on playing those units together. So I definitely do want Diana here. All right, now out of my different options here, I'm going to go ahead and take Trainer. After combat, the 3 champions closest to Nomsy feed her a snack. And then there was more text description, but it went off the screen a little bit too fast there. But the main thing you just need to know is this is Nomsy. She's back from set, the Dragon set 7. And after every combat, as you see, I go ahead and make Bramble Vest here. Could have also done the Steadfast Heart, but I was trying to hold the glove. I thought I could maybe try to make a Jeweled Gauntlet with this. Anyway, like I said, the trait is Trainer trait back from set 7. The way that it worked in set 7 is there were 3 units that would have the Trainer trait, and if you played 2 of them, you would get Nomsy on the board. And every round they would give snacks to Nomsy based on their star level. And so what were they? They were Heimerdinger, Tristana, and Lulu in that particular set. So over time they would get stronger. In this set, the Trainer trait is actually much, much stronger because you don't need to rely on hitting specific units. It's only the 3 units closest to Nomsy will feed Nomsy snacks. So it really can be any units whatsoever. And this is a particularly strong trait as you watch Nomsy dueling with Soraka here. A hilarious duel between the 2 of them. So it can be any units, and they give snacks to Nomsy based on their star level. So you do not have to 2-star or 3-star a 3-cost unit like you did in the original set. You can 3-star any unit, and they will give their snack benefit to Nomsy. So if you can get 3 3-star units, they'll feed 9 snacks to Nomsy per round. Yeah, that's a lot. But it's just much, much, much easier to scale up Nomsy here in this Pengu's party mode. Because you don't need to rely on specific units. If I just get any 3 2-star units, they give Nomsy 6 snacks per round, and that scales up Nomsy very, very fast. So Nomsy can get scaled up much faster than in the original set 7. There was also a bug with Trainer trait right before this patch. It's fixed in this patch, but there was a bug that was causing Nomsy to deal double damage on her ability. I do remember playing Pengu's party the previous week before this bug was fixed, and Nomsy would just, I'd be up against these enemy Nomsys. This is actually the first game I've gotten Trainer trait in. By the way, there's another perfect loss, so So I'm actually on a 3-match losing streak, but 2 of the 3 have been perfect losses, so I really didn't lose much health. Anyway, but I remember playing against enemy Nomsys, and like their Nomsys would just cast and do like 1,500 damage to my back line. I was like, why is this Nomsy so strong? So they did fix that bug in this patch. Nomsy no longer does double in the intended damage with Nomsy's ability. But Nomsy's still quite strong. In fact, Trainer is the best performing of the Pengu party traits in the data. It's actually 3.7 is the 3.7 is the average finish for Trainer 2. So I mean that's really, really good. That's honestly way too high. For way of comparison, Yordle's is the worst performing trait now, and Yordle's was down at like 5.4 average finish. Again, 4.5 is the middle ground there, right? So you're almost like a full placement better by running Trainer, and almost like a full placement worse by running Yordle. So these things not especially close. Not especially close. All right, so a couple things happened there. I was able to find Alawi, so I'm going to rely on her for frontline. The intended goal is to have Alawi and Amumu be the frontline, and then I also finally get a Lux here. I also forget that I have the golden item remover, and I sell the Zyra, which is a big mistake because I definitely want to be playing the Zyra here. So I just threw away a Zyra for no reason, and that was pretty dumb of me to do that. So whoops. Definitely a mistake there. Now, I also have all these items, so I need to figure out something to do with these items. So I'm going to go ahead and make the Jeweled Gauntlet I talked about before, and now I'm thinking about some frontline items. In a lot of comps, I would make Redemption here, but because this is a spellcasting comp, I actually don't want to make Redemption. I want to hold on to that tier because I probably want to make either more Spear of Shojins or more blue buffs for other units. So you always have to be thinking about what type of team composition you're playing. If you're playing an AD comp and you really don't need swords, then this is 100% slam the Redemption here, because Redemption's such a good frontline item. But it's not what I want here because I want to save that tier. By the way, this is an unfortunate fight. I only killed 1 unit. That person did go all the way down to 10 gold, level 6, but I only killed 1 unit, and I got a lot of units low over there, so it's a bit of an unfortunate loss, but I am actually on a pretty decent-sized loss streak, so this is good for economic purposes, but I do wish I'd been able to kill a few more of those units. All right, so now it's time for our second augment here. Dragon Spirit might be okay, except that I already have a lot of frontline stuff, so I don't know that I need that. It's definitely not heavy hitters. So I'm going to take Epoch again here. You get 8 XP immediately, and you get 3 free rerolls, and then this happens at the start of each stage. So I'm definitely going to use my rerolls here because I want to try to hit some of the 2 and 3 cost units. So I'll go ahead and pick that up. I put in the Aatrox initially, and then I'm like, do I really want Ghostly trait here? I think it might be better to just put in Zyra so I can get Sage trait. I think that's actually a better fit for my board. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And again, I realize now, it's like, why did I sell that one Zyra? I just forgot, like I said, I just forgot I had the golden item remover. I also then hit a Lilia, and I was like, okay, well, I'll play the Lilia over playing the, definitely play the Lilia over playing the, Zyra for right now, because that does put an Invoker trait in play, and Lilia's a 4 cost, so I think that's definitely going to be better here. I have also made one mistake in terms of positioning. I actually have a 2-star Gnar, the only 2-star unit I have, but Gnar needs to be close to Nomsy because that way Nomsy will get an extra snack, so that's just a positioning mistake here. Anyway, my board I think is still pretty terrible here because I have only one 2-star unit, and it's the Gnar, who's like the least important unit in the entire comp. Just in there as a Warden trait bot. But apparently it's enough to win that round, and that person's on 10 gold level 5, so I really don't know what that person's doing. I guess I have to say that in Pengu's party mode, it's not uncommon for you to see kind of a wider range of skill levels, so sometimes you get players who just, you know, are less experienced or maybe don't know what they're doing as much. Now we're going to get the third augment immediately, which is like, okay, whatever. And I'm looking at the different options here. It's not you have my sword because this is a magic damage base comp. Unified resistance would be okay. Harm assist doesn't really work here. Not today's no good. So we'll just take the Arcanist crest here. Gain an Arcanist emblem and Zoe. Now that's not a perfect fit for this comp, but I am playing the Arcanist as a trait. And, I decide, you know what, I'll just make Zyra into an Arcanist here, and then this is just going to let me play 4 Arcanists, which I would not normally play with this build, but it'll let me play 4 Arcanists, and I think that makes sense. Normally, I would just play the 2 Arcanists. I would just normally play the Alawi plus the Lux, but, I would normally just play Alawi and Lux here, but, I mean, I've got an extra Arcanist emblem, so we might as well go ahead and play 4 Arcanists, so that's always the thing. You got to adapt to changing circumstances in TFT, so that's what the plan is. Now, this board already has a 3-star Cho'Gath, so I'm not too confident that I can deal with this one. But that said, they don't actually have that much damage, so if Lux can actually snipe the Kate in the back row, Oh yeah, they don't actually have any damage on this team. Okay, well, that works. And I did at least manage to swap the Zyra over next to Nomsy. So at least now Nomsy will be getting 4 snacks. If I swap the Gnar over there, then I could get 5 snacks per round. But yeah, I'm still not exactly hitting too many of these units here. My only 2 stars are the Gnar and the Zyra thus far. But now I was thinking about rerolling on level 6 for a while, but because I got that Arcanist emblem, now I want to go to level 7 so I can put Zoe in, and then I'll be able to reroll on level 7. And it's actually not bad rerolling on level 7 here, because I do want to try to find a Mumu. A Mumu is going to replace Gnar. I do want to find a Lowies. I do want to find, and then I still have pretty good odds to find the 2 costs. Like, the odds are better on level 6 than on level 7, but they're still not bad to find them on level 7. Here, I'm going to go ahead and take a sword, and the reason for that is I've got a tier on my bench, and I want to make a second Spear of Shojin, and aha! There's a reason why I made that point earlier about the tier. So yes, I preserved the tier, did not make Redemption, even though Redemption's a good item and would have been a good fit here, but that is going to go ahead and let me make this Spear of Shojin. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take Trainer 2 over Mascot 2. Mascot 2 doesn't really fit my board because Mascot, you would take that if you had like a really tanky stall board and you just wanted to stall out fights, but I don't really have that here. And I'm not looking to build into that either. I have more of a spellcasting setup, and I think that this is a somewhat better fit. All right, so we'll go ahead right now and do a little bit of shifting. We got to level 7. Here on level 7, my odds for the 2 costs go down. They were 40% on level 6. Now they dropped down to 30%, but I have very good odds to hit the 3 costs here. So I'm going to stay here on level 7 for a while and try to reroll for 2 and 3 costs. So we're looking for more Luxes. I still only have Lux 1 star, which is not great because she's kind of intended to be the main carry in the comp I'm playing. We want more Luxes, we want more Zyras. I'll pick up Jannas if I can get them. I'll also pick up Zoes and Alaois and Amumus. I haven't even seen Amumu yet, but he's actually intended to be the main tank in this comp. So I'm definitely kind of forcing something that's not entirely there in this game. But I said I wanted to try this build out, and I thought it would be entertaining to try it. Yeah, not quite enough to get through this board. That they have 2-star Bard. I have 1-star Lux. That's not really a great, not really the most even matchup right there. Although that person has rolled themselves down to 10 gold, which I really don't think they needed to do. I think they could be more patient and slow roll a little bit, but definitely stronger than me right now. All right, and there's another Zyra. By the way, I could be on 5 Zyras instead of 4 if I hadn't sold that stupid one. And I really should have shifted the Gnar over to the left side because I could have had Nomsy start up already. In any case, though, I'll just take out the Gnar and replace with the Nautilus. Again, I'm still waiting to find a Mumu here. So 0 Amumus and 2 Luxes at the end of stage 3. Not exactly what you want if you're going to be playing a board that's heavily based on playing Lux plus a Mumu. But some of the other pieces are there. I have been scouting the lobby. I've been looking around. A lot of people are playing Ghostly in this lobby. One reason why I'm glad I didn't try to play into like Senna or Shen or anything. I was looking around. A lot of people are playing that, and nobody's really playing this. There's one person that has a 2-star Lux on their board. No one else has any other Luxes out of the pool, so I think I'm relatively safe to play this. There's also relatively few Alaois out of the pool, which is a bit surprising because she's a very popular unit because she has 3 useful traits. She has the Ghostly trait plus the Warden trait plus the Arcanist trait, so she fits into a ton of boards. And then Amumu, I think, is only being played by one person as well. So a lot of the units I want are definitely in the pool. They're available. It's not like I'm contested and I can't find them because they're on everybody else's boards. I'm just not seeing them thus far, so it's been kind of a low roll game thus far. Anyway, there's a Diana. So Nomsy at least is 2-star, and we will be scaling over time because Nomsy's going to get stronger. And then I decide I'll play the Annie for Tibbers over the Nautilus for Warden trait. I think that that's a little bit better to get Invoker trait in here because I'm a spellcasting board. But I still really am just waiting to find a Mumu here. So I am going to slow roll a bit. And by the way, look at this. So there's an Azir. I mean, that would be awesome, but I'm not sure that I can really play Azir. I mean, oh, you know what I could have done here? And maybe this is what I should have done in retrospect. I could have played Azir over Zyra. I could have just dropped the Zyra and played Azir and stuck that Arcanist emblem on him, and that might have been better. I didn't see that move at the time, and I am trying to stick a little bit closer to this build. So anyway, I'm going to replace the, the Annie with the Amumu. And then I'm finally going to hit 2-star Janna. So at least now I have some 2-star units here. So let's keep making sure. It's going to try to be in position to get these 2 stars to contribute their star level snacks to Nomsy. So I am going to continue picking up some of these units. I mean, I'm hitting some of these units, but I still can't hit the last Lux. And then, all right, this is an artifact anvil, and I'm like, I don't really like any of these. Maybe it should have been Forbidden Idol for the Diana, but like I couldn't really find one. I was like, all right, I guess Blading Jewel at least gives ability power, so I guess I'll take that, even though this really is not the item I want at all. And then we also get a support item here from the other one. Again, Pengu's Party Mode gives an awful lot of loot. So I was like, all right, well, I'm definitely going to take Shroud of Stillness out of this one, and maybe I can get some value out of shrouding people. By the way, I also thought I was going to lose this round, but then apparently no. Apparently, Alawi just starts tanking, and we must have taken out the damage on this comp because the bottom right-hand corner of the screen for me stays safe, and ultimately I'm able to kill everything there. So I still need a little bit more time to keep shuffling these items around. There was a lot of stuff happening there. All right, so I'm going to hit 6 Alawis. Again, Amumu is intended to be the main tank in this board, but I'll definitely keep the tank items on Alawi because she's 2-starred and Amumu is not. So continue with that for the time being. And again, I'm just trying to be patient here. I want to slow roll on level 6. I'm still looking for Lux. Again, I'm trying to make Lux 3-star. I only have 2 Luxes and it's stage 4, so that's not especially great. I also have this sword. I don't really know what I want to do with that, so I opt to reforge it, but I get kind of a bad result in the form of another bow. I was like, okay, that's not really what I was looking for there. 1 bow is fine because I'd like to make Gnasher's Tooth. That would be a nice item to put on like Lux or even on Zyra would be okay. But 2 bows, not really what I want there. So, okay, I'm not exactly sure about that. But anyway, we'll just have to make do as best we can. So again, I don't feel like I'm particularly hitting the units I'm trying to play very well at all. But I'm kind of hanging in there, buying my time. Nomsy's getting 6 snacks now because I have, at least now I have 2-star units feeding Nomsy. I'm actually a little bit slow to stack up Nomsy in this game because I didn't get Trainer until my second one of the returning traits. Remember, my first one was Mascot. I didn't get the Nomsy until the second option of those popped up. And, there we go. So there we finally get the hit. We finally get the Amumu, and we also get the Zoe 2-star. So now my board is at least 2-starred. But like I said, I didn't really manage to get these until the... didn't get Trainer until the second one of the returning traits. And then I had so many 1-stars for so long, it took longer than normal to star up this unit. Anyway, though, but now Nomsy's getting 6 snacks per round, and now I can maybe look to reposition Nomsy a bit more. Nomsy's getting close to the 3-star version, so that's kind of nice. And did you see that Shroud of Stillness? I managed to shroud the entire enemy team. Also, they're very clumped, so they should get wrecked by Nomsy. Yeah, Nomsy did a ton of damage right there. Nomsy does benefit from 4 Arcanist. You can't put items on Nomsy, but team-wide benefits do go onto Nomsy, so... the fact that 4 Arcanist gives that extra ability power to the whole team, Nomsy does benefit from that. And if I had something like Jeweled Lotus Augment, that would benefit from that as well, although of course I don't have that in this game. Yeah, Arcanist 4 is 20 AP for the whole team, 50 AP for Arcanist, so Nomsy's getting 20 additional ability power, and hey, I'll take that. A little bit more AP, make that cast hurt a little bit more. It's pretty nice. All right, anyway, so I'm going to get, 3rd pick here, and I'm trying to make further items, and I probably should have grabbed the Hui. Not exactly sure why I grabbed the Darius. I don't know if I could have gotten that, but anyway, I ended up taking the Tier, and the reason for that is I wanted to go ahead and kill one of these bows. I really wanted to kill one of the bows. Now, granted, I could have gone ahead and made Deathcap if I've gotten the Rod. I also would have had a Hui, which would have been nice just to get a Hui out of the pool. But I wanted to go ahead and kill one of these bows, and the best way to do that was to go ahead and make a Static Shiv. Now, Static Shiv's not going to be amazing in this setup. I'll just go ahead and put it on Zyra because there is some synergy between that and the Spear of Shojin, because Spear of Shojin gives you additional mana per auto attack, and Static Shiv causes you to auto attack slightly faster. So there is some synergy there, if not amazing synergy. But the main reason I want it is I just want to make use of these bows. I have 2 bows. I want to do something with them. Static Shiv will help because it'll add that magic resistance debuff. Now, there is some redundancy here because, remember, I did make an Ionic Spark earlier, but I still don't think it's bad having this. Having just more magic resist shred in general is really good for my board because I am all magic damage. I do no physical damage at all, so MR Shred is very valuable. This fight's a little bit sad because this person has a 2-star Silas. It's a little bit early to have a 2-star Silas, but yeah, they have 2-star Silas, and Silas immediately jumps into the back line and just starts killing my entire team. So slightly unfortunate RNG there. Silas could have gone somewhere else, but I mean, it's a 2-star Silas, and I'm still trying to carry through 1-star Lux, so it's just kind of fundamentally a mismatch there. Unfortunately, that does bring my win streak to an end, grind, but I've been able to, like I said, hang around in there. I am getting somewhat close on some of these, and then I get a big break from this encounter. Again, very unfair to people in the lobby who are trying to push levels right now, but reduces the cost to reroll down to 1 for the next 3 rounds, so I will absolutely take advantage of that. So anyway, in terms of what we have, I finally hit Lux 2-star, thank goodness. Finally have the Lux 2-star. And now I can look to shift Nomsy over next to Lux, who I did not have next to Lux because I didn't want Lux to be feeding only one snack to Nomsy. But I really want to put Nomsy next to Lux, and the reason for that is the two of them function really well together. Lux, of course, fires out her Q from standard League of Legends, her light binding. It goes across the map. It targets the opposite corner of the map and will hit people over there. I also need to try to try to position Lux so she's sniping enemy carries. But Nomsy's ability works very similarly. Nomsy tosses out the fireball that's going to go across the board as well. So if you can put them both on the same side, they tend to cast in very similar patterns. Like Lux will target the opposite corner. Nomsy often does the same thing. And by the way, look at this Senna is on literally like 1 HP. You might be wondering, what the heck happened to my team? Why did everything die so fast? Well, that's because they're running 6 Ghostly. I did a Senna video relatively recently, and the 6 Ghostly boards, once those ghosts get stacked up, your team just gets melted. So it often looks like you're winning a fight, and then all of a sudden you're not winning a fight, and that's not at all unusual for 6 Ghostly. But yeah, anyway, if I can go ahead and position the Lux, there's another Lux. If I can position the Lux next to the Nomsy, they will kind of cast together. All right, so I'm making progress on some of these 3-stars. 7 Alawis, 6 Dianas, 5 Zyras, 5 Amumus, 5 Luxes. So, yeah, it would be nice if I could actually hit one of these units because I'm out of bench space now. In fact, I'm going to get some drops here, but I can't even put some of these things on my bench. And by the way, I get another bow here again. It's like, so many bows. I know I reforged one item into a bow. All right, that's going to help a little bit by getting the Lux there. All right, so we are clearing a little bench space here. Got some Jannas. Okay, now I need to make room for Diana because this is 7 Dianas. There's another Lux. Okay, again, I'm really getting close here. All right, 6 Amumus. That's nice. Remember, it only costs 1 gold to reroll at the moment, but now I'm out of bench space. It's like, do I drop something to pick up another Zyra? All right, I'll drop the Diana because this does get me up to 8 Zyras, then I'll drop that. All right, so I'm on 8 and just out of bench space here. So I'm on 8 Luxes, 8 Zyras here. Now, I really wish I hadn't sold that Zyra earlier in the game because I would have had 9 by now, and I could have actually bought something, but I actually can't pick up the Alawi here, even though I'm on 6 Alawis. I was on 7, but I had to sell one because I was getting so close to some of the other units. Anyway, I'm trying to roll down here. There's another Diana. Again, I don't have space for this, but there we go. I hit the 3-star Zyra. That won't pop up until the beginning of the next round, but I do have the 3-star Zyra, so that's great. That's going to give me just a little bit of extra bench space. And now if I can hit the Lux, I kind of have Lux and Zyra dual carries here, so this is pretty significant. All right, can we finish off this Gnar? Lux, you got me? Oh. Whew, okay, I'm glad that last cast of her crit for 1,300. No, not the end of the world if I lose that, but still better to win the round. So, all right, there we go. So now Zyra is 3-starred, and that's big because remember, she has the Arcanist emblem. I'm also going to go ahead and finally be able to use these component ambles, which I couldn't use in the last round. Let's go ahead and make the Gnasher's Tooth on Lux. It's a very good item on her. And now I'll go ahead and put the Arcanist emblem back on, Spear of Shojin Bow back on. I'll put the Blighting Jewel on the Zyra there. And now I'm going to continue re-rolling. Unfortunately, the re-rolls do cost 2 gold. And now, if only I could get this Diana on my board. But I actually can. I just have to pull the component anvils. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and look to make something else. I could look to make another Gnasher's Tooth is a possibility. So let's look to go ahead and we'll make an Archangels, and then we can do Gnasher's Tooth. And now I can actually buy that Diana, although I don't know if I remember to pick it up. Yes, okay. Ooh, thank goodness I did remember. So I've also itemized the Janna as well, just kind of for like lack of other units to put these on. And I think you can make a good case that Zoe would have been a better target here because Zoe gets the Arcanist benefit and Janna does not. Also, Zoe's a 3-cost instead of a 2-cost unit. So these items probably should have gone on the... and by the way, look how close I am. I'm like 1 off. I was like, I can't. Do I want to sell one of the Dianas? I opted just to hold here. I really need to hit one of these 3-stars. And there we go. I hit the Lux, so I can stop re-rolling here for the moment. All right, but this is pretty good. So I was able to hit 3-star Lux and 3-star Zyra. And like I said, they're my main carries. And then the Amumu pops up as well. I was like, all right, well, we are definitely swapping these items over to Amumu. And I believe I've positioned so that Nomsy is getting snacks from all 3 of my 3 stars. So Nomsy's already a 4-star unit. Now, you might think that Nomsy stops getting stronger once Nomsy's 4-star, but that's actually not true. Nomsy does continue getting more stats. It's just that there's no higher star level, but like Nomsy will continue getting more snacks, and we're only on 5-3, so we have quite a few rounds for Nomsy to get stronger. So if you watch Nomsy's health bar, Nomsy is continuing to get stronger over the course of these fights, and Nomsy actually did the most damage on my board with 7,400 damage. Also got a great Shroud of Stillness that round too. Well, now it's time for more wackiness from the carousels. Now we're gonna all get a Tactician's Crown on the carousel. I was like, you know, I felt like my board was pretty strong. Why are we going to have to introduce more zany RNG into the game? Oh, well. Now, I'm going to go ahead and opt to take the Diana because the Diana gives me Diana 3-star. So I'm quite happy with that, and now I'm going to get to play additional units. I get 1 more from the Tactician's Crown, and then I'm going to get the chance to play another unit after that because I'm only level 7, and I can easily go level 8 here. So that's really nice to get the Diana 3-star. Now I need to get some more items for Diana. But I need to put some more units on the board, so I was trying to figure out what the heck I could play here. I was like, all right, I'll put the Galio on the board and play Kale, because that makes Storyweaver. And I'm going to position the Galio way over there on the other side of the board, because I don't want Galio feeding snacks to the Nomsy. I want to make sure that Nomsy's getting snacks from my 3 stars, so Nomsy's getting another 9 snacks every single round and continuing to get stronger. Now I finally kind of have the board so I can focus a little bit more on positioning. And of course, at the last second, I swap over there. I do get a great Shroud with this. I managed to hit the key units over there. But yeah, this does mean that I did exactly what I said I wasn't going to do, which is that the Galio is going to be the one feeding snacks. So I guess Nomsy only gets 7 snacks this round, but it's probably more important to be in a better position anyway. Yeah, Nomsy's fireballs, you might notice, Nomsy's fireballs are hitting for like 1,200 damage, and we actually knocked that player out of the lobby who I thought was pretty strong. They had a 2-star Hui back there, but nope, we're just going to knock them out, so much for them. And I'm going to continue grabbing Alawi's as well. I mean, I guess I might as well grab Zoe's, although it's a little late to make Zoe 3-star at this point in time. Yeah, Nomsy, it says that Nomsy's fireball hits for 540, but it sure seems like it's doing a lot more damage than that. So I'm not sure if all the bugs have necessarily been fixed with this unit, from what I can tell. Anyway, like I said, so I've got the Galio on there for Storyweaver. That's kind of useful just because Kale provides another shred, but I don't really want Storyweaver. I think I can definitely do better than that, so I'm going to be looking for something a little bit better here. Now I'm back to the Silas board that beat me. I think this is the last board that beat me now. The scary thing about this board is not really the Silas anymore. It's that they have 2-star Lysandra over there, who has a Storyweaver emblem. One nice thing is I do have quite a few traits in play, and that's pretty good for my first augment. Oh, if you notice right there, Lux missed her ult. Every single unit on the enemy team stepped forward, and so she missed her ult there. So no, we're not going to win this round either. Close round, but we did lose it, even though Nomsy and Lux both did 10,000 damage there. But to get back to my first point, my original augment was the one that gave me additional benefits based on people having the same traits as me, people running the same traits. I do 10% more damage across the board if they don't have any of my traits, and then 15% more damage if they do have one of my traits. The good news is I have so many traits in play, I think every team has at least one of these traits in play, between Arcanist, Storyweaver, Dragonlord, Sage, Porcelain Warden. I mean, that's a lot of very common traits there. So I think just about every team has at least one of these traits, and I get the 15% bonus instead. All right, so I'm still trying to configure my board here. Like I said, I wouldn't mind getting other units. Now, I could opt to play this, drop the Kale to play Invoker. I think that's better. But then I see a Wukong here. I was like, okay, that's going to give me Sage trait. Let's definitely do that. And I can play the Annie to put Invoker trait. Now, if I can put in a Morgana, and I actually went past Morg there, which is kind of bad. I was thinking of maybe running 6 Arcanists, but then I was like, I think that 4 Sage is better here. I'm still rolling to try to find another Illaoi, because I'm really close on the Illawis, but I definitely should have been picking up Morgana here. Anyway, I have the 3-star Diana, so I want to put tank items on the Diana, so I need to item remover this and put that Gargoyle Stone Plate on. I didn't quite get enough time to position, but again, this time Lux and Nomsy are again in like perfect position. Note that they both target, oh my god, that Nomsy Fireball. They both targeted the opposite corner, and they just absolutely annihilated the enemy team. Nomsy did 8,000 damage with like 1 fireball there. So yeah, Lux and Nomsy, they really pair together quite well. And we're also now getting the extra AP and Omnivamp from Sage. The Omnivamp doesn't really matter that much, but the extra ability power is really nice in my team composition. Like, Lux gets 50 AP from Arcanist trait, and then she gets like another 30 AP from Sage trait. I mean, that's a lot. And of course, she has the Jewel Gauntlet so she can crit. on her ability. Anyway, let's go ahead and get Diana's items reconfigured here. So we're going to put the Gargoyle Stone Plate on, and we'll put the Shroud of Stillness, and I'll just put this over here. All right, so there's a Morg, so I definitely need to put Morg on my board. I'm not quite sure why I did. I think I maybe forgot that I didn't have her. Oh, I guess I kept Annie on the board because I did want Invoker trait as well, but I think that Force Sage would have been better here. Anyway, I'm going to swap at the last moment to try and get my Shroud repositioned, which does in fact work. Now Diana's quite tanky as well because she has the Gargoyle Stone Plate, plus in addition to being a 3-star, and she does have the she does have that Omnivamp from Sage trait, so she does damage. She gets a little health back in. Wow, what happened to that enemy board? Yeah, we just absolutely shredded them. I mean, they're level 10, but I think they would have done better to hit 3-star Bard instead of trying to go to level 10. I think that might have been a mistake to go to level 10 instead of trying to get 3-star Bard. So we're just kind of cooking here. And even though you can't see the star level, Nomsy is continuing to get 9 more snacks every single round. So Nomsy is continuing to scale up here. Now here we have a chance. Lysandra offers to sell you items. She can spend money to get items, but I don't really need more items. I mean, we already have like a ridiculous amount of items in this game, so that's not really an issue. By the way, I'm on 7 Jannas. A Janna 3-star would actually be pretty significant because I've got all those items sitting on Janna. But yeah, I don't really want to spend the gold. What I want to do now is go level 9 and slap the Morgana on the board as well so I can get 4 Sage in. I think that would be pretty good. I don't really need Morg to deal damage. I just need her to get the team-wide benefit. So it looks like we're up against the win-streaking player here. So I'm going to try to reposition over here. I want to be over on the right-hand side because their carries are over on the left. Yes, they are. Now, this is the Silas board that I've lost to a whole bunch of different times. I think this is the team that beat me the last 2 times I lost. But now my board is kind of scaled up, and I'm actually in really good position this round. So that Nomsy Fireball is going to cut right through. Lux gets off a nice ult, although that team is healing. That team has the thing where every time one of their units die, they heal. Oh my god, Nomsy is just doing so much damage. It's ridiculous. Again, the Nomsy plus Lux just absolutely crushed the other side of the board. And just like that, we're going to knock them out of the lobby. And even though they were the strongest team in the lobby, they were only down on, what, I think 13 health. So that's going to do it. Oh, and looky what we've got here. There's a Porcelain Emblem, and there's also an Alawi. That's actually going to take me to, I think, 8 Alawis. Or is that the 9th one? I'm really close to Alawi 3-star here. And the Porcelain Emblem is great because I have no idea what those pings were about. I don't really pay much attention to the pinging. Oh, never mind, I already had 3-star Alawi. But what this does means is I can put the Porcelain Emblem on one of my units. I was like, all right, let's just put that on Diana. It also would have been good on Alawi as well. So now we just want to get to 9, and if we can put in the Morgana, that'll be 4 Sage. And then if I could somehow find a Lysandra, I could replace the Zoe with Lysandra, and that would give me 4 Porcelain, which would just be absolutely awesome. So again, I'm really happy with this. I'm just going to slide over here to get a better Shroud. You guys know I love the Shrouds of Stillness. Anyone who's been playing since back in the early days of TFT is well familiar with Shrouds. And this person does not reposition, so I get a perfect Shroud that hits, I think, 6 members of their team. And now, again, the Lux plus Nomsy combo just targets that left corner and just annihilates everything together. Yeah, Nomsy, those fireballs just, oh my god. I saw 1,700 pop up there. Look at Nomsy, 11,900 damage. Again, Nomsy, even after the nerfs in this patch, is clearly just too strong, which is why Trainer is like the top performing trait in the set. All right, well, we'll go ahead and hit level 9 so we can get Morg on the board, and there we go. Now we have 4 Sage. So remember how I said that Nomsy benefits from Arcanist trait? Well, Nomsy also benefits from Sage trait as well, anything that's a team-wide benefit. So between the two of them, I think Nomsy's getting, what is that? Sage 4 is how much ability power? It's 45 AP in the back 2 rows, and then Arcanist 4 is 20 AP for non-Arcanist, so that's 65 AP on Nomsy. Plus Nomsy is like a billion snacks. By the way, I saw them repositioning, so I'm going to slide over here to reposition, and we're going to reproduce the same fight again. Only this time Nomsy's even stronger with 9 more snacks being fed to Nomsy. So yeah, those Nomsy fireballs, they're hitting for almost 2,000 damage at this point. Lux just absolutely snipes the Bard. Why in the world did that person not place their Bard in the middle of the team instead of in the corner? I don't know, but this game is over. And we're going to take the first place here. So, Trainer trait, definitely a little bit too strong. Can you imagine back before they nerfed this and Nomsy was doing double the intended damage? Nomsy would have been tossing out 4,000 damage fireballs if that bug was still in place. Anyway, so this was an interesting game in the sense that I really felt like the early game was a pretty big low roll. I had so many 1-star units for so long, and I was kind of forcing this comp, but man, when I actually found my units, it all came together, and I really benefited from that encounter that gave me 1 cost rerolls, or 1 gold rerolls. That was a little bit unfair to the rest of the lobby, but gotta take advantage of it, so it is what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this game. Until next time, hope everybody's having a great week. Take care, folks, and I'll see you again soon.